right.
Tom, what's going on, brother?
What's up?
Good to see you, dude.
You too, man. Thanks for coming on the show, and well, really, thanks for letting me come to your neck of the woods, your territory, to get to film. This is an awesome backdrop and a cool office. I don't know if you guys been here yet, but we're at the Reese Nichols office in downtown Lee Summit. They took an old bank, right? It was an old bank.
Yeah, it's an old bank back in the 1800s. Long time ago. And
old as dirt. But man, they did an amazing job. Some really good realtors out here in the heart of Lee Summit, which is just thriving, growing. As we know, real estate's just a great place to put your money because it's just increasing year after year, especially in Lee Summit.
No question.
Yeah, really cool office. If you get a chance, come check it out. So we're here today, and actually to launch the podcast, we're going to dive deep into Kevin Holmes, who you are,
Absolutely.
What you're about, and just to kind of tell the world, why you got in the business, what you do, why you're different, and just kind of go from there.
See what happens.
Awesome. So first, man, tell me a little about yourself. Where you from, and what's your backdrop from the day you got out of high school to how you got into real estate.
Yeah. So I'm originally from St. Louis. I'm a Mizzou grad, so I went to Mizzou for college. Got a degree in double major in economics and finance. Thought that's the route that I'd go. Went and worked in the corporate world for a little bit after college. Found myself with a promotion to move to Kansas City. So that was really the initial goal, was to come here and be a sales manager for his technology company. And quickly found my love for real estate, and I started flipping houses on the side while I was in my corporate job. Was able to save up a decent little nest egg, and always wanted to be my own boss and be an entrepreneur. So finally made the leap cold turkey. I guess it was about 6-7 years ago. Started with Keller Williams in Prairie Village on a team. Kind of found a mentor for a year, and then went out on my own, and it's just kind of been smooth sailing ever since.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
Man, so 6-7 years ago, and now we're here. So tell me a little bit how that journey's looked like. I mean, from the day you started, what was the day in life?
It was tough, man. There's no just, you mean the real estate journey?
Yeah, what was the day in life? Yeah, on the real estate
side. It was a grind. So, like I said, moving here from St. Louis, I literally had no network of people, no sphere of influence whatsoever. Obviously, real estate's a lot about who you know, not necessarily what you know. I didn't know anybody, so I really had to do it the hard way. A lot of it was just pounding the phones, literally just calling through neighborhoods, and doing it the hard way. But
so just cold
calling, doing the stuff nobody likes to do.
Expired listings
for sale by owners, and just went that route. Was able to figure out, hey, if I make this many calls every single day, I'll convert this many appointments, that'll convert to this many transactions. So it's very numbers oriented.
Yeah.
Instead of just kind of throwing mud at a wall and seeing what sticks.
Numbers game.
So I was able to build that client base to kind of gain momentum, and now I've shifted to definitely more of a referral based business.
Yeah.
Now being in the business for 6 years, it gets easier and easier every year, no question.
So from the day you started and got licensed, how long before you got your first deal?
Pretty quick actually. So I was just super gung-ho the first year. Like I said, I had a really good mentor, so that helped.
Yeah.
It was super important. So I did 36 transactions in my first year of business. So that was, I was probably working 80 hours a week, just hitting it hard.
Yeah.
So
he kind of gave you, hey, this is the blueprint.
Exactly.
This is what to do. It will pay off as long as you stick to the script.
Exactly. So yeah, there would be weeks where I would just be making hundreds of phone calls every week, and
brutal.
Some weeks I'd get no business out of it, but it was just staying disciplined, staying regimented. A lot of time blocking, which was huge for me, because you really have to treat this like a business. I think a lot of realtors they want the flexibility, but you really have to treat this like a job.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So really setting hours for yourself. So lead generation, 9 to 11 every single day, no matter what.
Yeah.
We're not going to let anything get in the way of that, because really the most important part of this business is having a pipeline. If you don't have that, then you have no business.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you can be great with people. You can be, you can be the best person with people. You can be personable. You can, think you're going to be a great real estate agent, but if you have no pipeline of buyers and you're not lead generating every single day, you're just not going to be successful.
So true. So true.
So, and I'm sure you know that as a loan officer.
Yeah. I mean, I've experienced with my sales journey. I've been in multiple different industries, and it's the easiest thing in the world to build. Well, not easy, but when it's easy to build the pipeline, and then if you stop the lead generating, you're going to be riding the roller coaster.
Right. Well, that's what most realtors do, right? So they might have a great month where they have 4 or 5 closings, right? Mm-hmm. So, and they get bogged down with all of that paperwork and the grind of the day in and day out of the transaction. Mm-hmm. Well, once those all close, there's nothing in the pipeline. Yeah. So if you time block every single day, like I do from 9 to 11, you're always going to be building that pipeline every single day, no matter what, even if you're busy. Mm-hmm. So like I don't ever schedule appointments, or I try not to, between 9 and 11, because that's my lead generation time. So I try to do my appointments in the afternoon, so I'm always building the pipeline.
Smart, man. And it's so crucial. Any sales book you ever read, they're going to tell you to do that.
No
time
question.
block and lead generate every day. I'm reading one right now. I think it's by Scott Groves, and it's lead generate, how to double your pay in 61 days. And the biggest thing is 9:30 to 10:30 every day. He's just calling referral partners, past clients, you name it, leads.
Yep.
And then there's other stuff you can do in between and throughout the week, and he likes to do themed days. So Monday is Marketing Monday, Tuesday is Taco Tuesday, where you're going and breaking bread with people, right?
Yeah.
Belly to belly. Wednesday is Work Your Ass Off Wednesday.
I love it.
So he's like from 4:45 a.m. until 10 p.m. is when he hits his bed. Hits the head on the bed.
Yeah, but there's gotta be structure.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to not. I mean, if you have no structure, it's so easy to say, you know what, I'm just gonna screw off today.
Yeah.
And I think the most disciplined, regimented people are the ones that succeed in this business.
100%.
It's not rocket science.
No, it's not magic. It's math.
100%.
And it's just a numbers game. The more you do, the more you'll reap. The more benefits you'll reap, but it just takes time, like you said.
Yeah, no question.
So I want to get into more of kind of where you're at. We already kind of know where you started, how you kind of got going. But I really want to also talk about kind of what value you add today, right? So if somebody stumbles across your Instagram page, which is, you've done an amazing job, I commend you on that. Like, it's a beautiful page. You have great content, great following base. I'd like to learn more about how, or at least tell our people how you got to there. But also, before we dive into the fun and sexy stuff of Instagram, let's talk about, if somebody were to stumble across your page or stumble across you or get referred to you, like, what sets you apart? What makes you different than the other realtor, and what value do you add the most to a potential buyer or seller?
Yeah, as far as just the Instagram goes, or just me as a person?
First, you as a realtor, right? First, you as a realtor, as a person, of that you representing them, whether it's on the listing or the buy side, what value add, and then we could go into kind of how you got to all these thousands of
followers.
I
think everybody probably says this, but relationships are the number one thing for me.
Yeah.
I try not to be like your typical realtor. I try not to act like your typical realtor. I think a lot of people have a bad taste in their mouth of realtors. I think they see them kind of maybe like a sleazy car salesman type guy. Yeah. I don't really want to come off as that. I just want to come off as a super down-to-earth guy who values the relationship. Like I said, I want this business to be a referral-based business, and if I take care of my clients, I think it's gonna be pay off dividends. When they refer me to their friends and family, because they're raving fans of me, and I did such a good job for them. So, yeah. I think I just value the relationship much more than a lot of people do. I think the experience that I have, being in it for 6-7 years, is just getting a lot of reps in. So, I've done hundreds of transactions at this point.
Yeah.
So I've seen what can go wrong. If something does go wrong, I know how to handle it. I know how to get somebody to the finish line, mm-hmm. because I've been there and I've done that.
Yeah. Well, also, there's quite a bit of very tenured, experienced people in this office too that you're
sure.
next door to. So I'm sure the collaboration, brainstorming among all these super intelligent agents doesn't hurt as well.
No, it doesn't hurt whatsoever.
Yeah, just to bounce different ideas off the wall. But
yeah, it's definitely good to be around top producing agents, other people that are experiencing the same things as me, mm-hmm. right? So we can kind of bounce ideas off each other. How did you handle that, or what can we do differently next time? So and always just trying to grow. I think there's a lot of egos in this business. People think that their way is the right way.
Yeah.
I feel like every day I learn something new, and I feel like I'm getting better every day.
Yeah.
Because I'm open to that growth. I don't think I'm God's gift to earth.
No. Yeah.
We're just selling real estate.
Yeah. Well, that's my favorite thing. Well, when I first met you, I mean, I could tell right away. This dude's down to earth, open-minded. Like, I've met a lot of realtors that just come off as they're too good for you.
Sure.
And just blow you off. And, for the record, I'm a lender, and, kind of the way the river goes to the waterfall in regards to like referrals is it usually starts with a realtor and then a lender and then insurance or title, lender, insurance. And there's kind of a flow there. So a lot of lenders always are cold calling and reaching out to realtors.
Sure.
And it's I've been cussed at, I've been just hung up on, I've been disrespected, and it's like it's good to know that because I don't want to work with those type of people anyway.
Sure, absolutely.
But, that definitely is one thing. When I first met you, I was like, this guy's cool.
Yeah. I think I saw that. I think we have a similar mindset. We're thinking about the long term and how we can really grow our businesses, and I think we can see that we can help each other out in that way. Right? I think we're both thinking big.
Yeah. 100%.
So yeah, it's been a good partnership.
So you gave me a little bit of insight into, who you are as a person and how you can relate to other people and how you treat them, right? But say if I wanted to sell my house and I was reaching out to you to list it, what competitive advantage or value does the Holmes Group add to someone like myself that wants to sell their house? Like, why would I be better to list the house with you versus someone
Sure,
else?
that's a great question because you could throw a rock and probably hit a realtor. There's tons of realtors out there, but it doesn't matter who you work with. I mean, I think probably the number one goal of a seller in any age, any day, I mean, is probably going to be to get the highest possible sales price for their house or get the highest net proceeds at the end of the day, right?
Show me that money.
So I think it's that and trust, but the performance is huge. So, the biggest thing to get the highest sales price for your house is going to be exposure. There's no question. The more eyes we get on your house, the more eyes we get on your listing, the more competitive we're going to get, the more offers we're going to get. We're going to get better. We're going to get a better price, better terms. It's going to be a much overall better experience. So I think our social media for sure gives sellers that advantage. I think even just last month we had 700,000 impressions on our page. So almost, just shy of 1 million eyes were on our page, right? So when we go in and list your house, you have almost 1 million people, very organically in Kansas City seeing your listing. That's going to give you a higher sales price for your house. There's no question. So that's just something that other realtors can't provide. Everybody can put the house on the MLS. Everybody can take photos. But, we've got the largest following in Kansas City on social media for Instagram specifically. That's a huge value add. So there's a lot of people that think, well, this guy has his license and so does this guy, or my cousin has his license. Why wouldn't I just work with him, right? Or he's cutting me a deal. Why wouldn't I work with him? Well, he just can't get that organic exposure that we can provide. So that's a huge, massive advantage to working with the Holmes Group. There's no question.
Yeah, sign me up.
Yeah.
I'm ready to sign. Man, but no, that is so true, and that's the beauty of social media. I mean, just recently I made a post, and within an hour I had like 5 direct messages, 2 phone calls.
Sure.
And it's like, to get that many conversations, I mean, it would have taken me, half an hour to just call, because maybe longer, right? Maybe an hour. It took me 5 minutes to make the post. It might take me an hour to make those calls, because most people aren't going to pick up, and then I'm following up with a text message. So, but that my social media reach, which is nothing compared to where you're at, got me conversations, got me
Absolutely
getting terms and quoting people out on flips and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's I could definitely see. I never would have thought that somebody can get such a big following through short form video as a business professional, and then use it to leverage to get more profit. Because one thing you said that I'm going to actually increase the value that you had is, you said local Kansas City buyers. You're reaching people in other cities that are moving to Kansas City.
Sure. Yeah, we've got people from California, Texas, you name it, that are reaching out. because there's a ton of people from other states moving into Kansas City because Kansas City's got a ton to offer. It's grown.
Because you can tag the location for every video, right?
You can.
So that if people are looking at real estate and they're looking at Kansas City real estate and they're scrolling, yours might just pop up, right? Because as smart as the algorithms are, they're figuring out, they're looking at houses.
Sure.
They're looking
and a large percentage, I don't know the exact number, and I've read several articles on it, but there's a large majority of the people that are moving right now in this market are relocation buyers. Mm-hmm. So we're capturing a huge chunk of those buyers, right? Your buyer on your house very likely may be somebody out of state.
Yeah.
So not only capturing people locally here in Kansas City, but all over the United States.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but that's huge. I mean, I know I've seen people try to do YouTube channels, and there's some people in other states and cities that I know that are really successful with video on when somebody's looking up for a realtor to move from out of state. So think about that as, if somebody's interested in using you, that he's got not only the local audience and followers, but people, because he gets so much engagement, you're going to reach out to other people that are moving to Kansas City. So now the potential buyers of your listing had just increased dramatically because of your interest.
Yeah, and one thing we do, I mean, we always are trying to we're trying to be the best as far as using cutting edge technology on all of our listings. So, we were one of the first agents here in Kansas City market to utilize like FPV drones. So actually flying drones inside your house.
Oh, that's so cool.
So, and that also kind of comes together with working with buyers from different states. So doing those virtual tours of, flying a drone through a house, those people from, let's say, California or Texas are able to get a virtual tour of your house without actually being here. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of times where we're seeing sight unseen offers because people feel confident because they're getting such a high level tour of the house without actually being there.
Yeah.
They feel confident enough to write an offer, not even seeing the house in person.
Wow. That's wild. I mean, you think about where we were whenever you first started, right? And make sure the seller pays closing costs and get all the inspections. And now, I mean, there's just not the supply. So you got to get the exposure, you got to get it fast. And then, it's going to be a bidding war. But
and like I said, there's so many realtors to choose from.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to set yourself apart. Mm-hmm. You can't just be the average Joe who's doing the basics. Yeah. Just, I think they call it the 3 Ps. You put a sign in the yard, you put it in the MLS, and then you pray that it sells. Those are the 3 Ps, and that's what it gives a lot of realtors bad rap because there's just a lot of lazy realtors out there. Yeah. So we're really trying to just be the best. And we're really a marketing company that just happens to sell real estate. Is what it comes down to. We're a marketing company.
Yeah, that's true. Cool. Well, tell me a little bit. Let's go back to you. So you were from St. Louis, right? Moved here. Did you say why you moved to?
Yeah. So I moved here. I had a promotion with a corporate job. I was working in technology sales.
And were you married at the time?
I was not married.
Married at the time? No. Okay. So you moved here, single man? When you moved here?
Moved here, single man, not too long.
Yeah.
My wife swooped me up, and now I've got 2 kids. Boy almost 4, and then girl that's 2. So.
Okay.
That's my life outside of real estate.
All right. What do you do in your spare time?
Pretty much just spend time with my kids.
Yeah. I can relate to that.
Big sports fan, but I would say the majority of my time when I'm not working, I'm just spending quality time with my kids and my wife.
Yeah. And making sweet videos for you.
And making sweet videos.
Yeah, if you guys haven't already, I mean, you're probably going to stumble across this video on his page, but if not, go to, what's the hashtag?
It's Holmes_group_KC.
Holmes_group_KC. Yep. And then you on Facebook, anything else?
We're on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Yeah. I mean, really Instagram's kind of our bread and butter. But we're all over the place.
Okay. What are you, and I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but that's just how my brain operates.
Yeah, me too.
Deal with it. But what about the buyer that's on the fence?
That's a good question.
They're renting right now and they want to become a homeowner, but they're waiting for the market to drop.
That's a really good point. There's so many people that are talking, I'm going to wait till the market dips. I'm going to wait till the market crashes. I'm going to wait till interest rates drop. I just do not see, and I Obviously, there's no crystal ball. I don't know what it's going to be like in a year. Nobody does. But from everything that I'm seeing, I don't see the Kansas City market dipping as far as average home price. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
I think people are comparing us to 2008, and it's a very different type of market that we're in compared to 2008. 2008, there was so many bad loans out there. There was a huge increase in inventory. We've got the lowest inventory that Kansas City has ever seen. And the only thing that affects sales price is supply and demand.
Yeah.
So right now there's demand for housing. There's very little supply. As long as that stays true, we're going to see housing prices increase. Now, as soon as I believe as soon as rates go down, and I think you're probably more well versed on that than I am, but I do see rates leveling out at some point, right? Next year or two. I think as soon as that happens, I think we're going to see an absolute flood of people in the market because a lot of the buyers are thinking the same thing. Yeah. I'm going to wait till rates drop. So I think as soon as we see that happen, it's just going to be a flood of buyers out there. There's going to be an incredible amount of competition. I think if you're in the financial position where you can purchase a home right now and you're comfortable with that monthly payment, you go out and you buy the house.
Yeah.
I think the house is going to continue to appreciate. Real estate is always appreciated over time. We're always going to see peaks and valleys. But if you're waiting for the market to crash, you might be sitting on the sidelines for a while.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And the one thing too I'd add to that is if rates do go down, prices are going to go up. So you're gonna pay it one or another way. It's either going to be interest now or the purchase price. And oftentimes the appraisers are still, a house is worth what someone's willing to pay for it, but at the same time, appraisers look at comps, which are comparables usually they try to stay within a couple miles, and that have sold, within the last year or so, and they're going to base off of what those houses sold, appraise your value. So, obviously, as more people, pay more for houses, those appraisal amounts will go up, but it's a trailing effect. So if rates drop and then you make an offer, well, you're going to have like 10, back to where we were post-COVID, towards the end of COVID and post-COVID, when people were paying 20, 50, 100, 150 grand. What's the craziest you saw over asking?
Oh, I had a house somewhere in Overland Park that went for, I think, $100,000 over.
$100,000 over.
Yeah.
And they're not always appraising for that. So they're coming out of that with cash.
Yep.
And it's not going towards, it's just going towards the seller. It's not.
Again, I think the best time to purchase a home is when you're in a financial position to do so. I think real estate's always going to be a good investment. It's only going to become a better investment.
Well, it's cliche, but it's so true. And it is date the rate, marry the house. Or 100%. Marry the house, date the rate. Because rates will always go up and down. Think about like a stock market or a 401k. You don't pull your money out or stop investing in 401k when the interest or when stocks go down. You continually do it. Same with real estate. You got to continually keep buying, buy, sell.
Nobody's time. Everybody acts like nobody's timing the market.
No,
it's just not happening.
If we could time the market,
and if you're buying something for a short-term strategy, you shouldn't be buying. You're not buying a house for a short-term strategy.
Yeah.
Wealth building strategy. It's just a long-term play. Right?
Unless you're flipping, right?
Unless you're flipping. But if you're just buying a home as a personal residence,
yeah,
I don't think you shouldn't be looking at that as I'm going to time the market. It's not. This isn't a short-term investment.
You make sure that it's got what you need for your family. You make sure that you can afford the monthly payment and that you aren't stretching yourself too thin, because the last thing you want is foreclosure. And then you make this decision. Now, I've heard this rule. I think it was like 80-10-10, and it was, make sure you like 80% of the house, you would improve 10%, and you hate 10%, or you just don't like it all, right? Despise. When your buyers are looking at houses, what do you kind of tell them about, like, whenever they're thinking it through and if it's the right one or not?
I always tell them there's no such thing as a perfect house.
Yeah.
It just doesn't exist. I think a lot of people are looking for a perfect house. I think you probably hit the nail on the head. If you can, 80-90% of the house you can live with and you like it.
Yeah.
There's always going to be quirks about a house you're not going to like. There's just unless you want to spend, you have unlimited money to spend to build your even people that build their custom home for multi-million dollars are still at the end of the process saying, man, I wish I would have done that differently. Yeah. So, there's no such thing as a perfect house. There's just no question.
Yeah, 100%. Now, your Instagram page has a lot of badass houses on it.
Sure.
They're beautiful. I see them every day and I'm like just drooling because they're gorgeous houses. is that the only customers you help? Or do you, what's kind of your price, like what's your niche, or what are you best with?
It sounds cheesy, but I would say like our goal really is to provide a luxury experience at every price point.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter what price point you're in. We work with a ton of first-time home buyers. I love working with first-time home buyers. You know, I'm in the younger generation, I'd say. And so I see it's a good way to build my business is to work with younger people. I do a great job for them. You know, they're going to be a client for life.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I'd say like I said, it's creating a luxury real estate experience in all price points. Whether that's $3 million, whether that's a first-time home buyer looking at $200,000. Mm-hmm. You know, there's no threshold of you have to be at a certain price point in order to work with us. We want to work with everybody.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, everybody should be treated the same. Right?
Absolutely.
There shouldn't be just because you're buying a cheaper house. And it's no secret, agents and lenders get paid off of, at least most lenders, but they get paid off of a percentage of the purchase price of the loan amount. But everybo's got to start somewhere, right? And
yeah, you can't just look at it. I mean, if you're a real estate agent and you're looking at a real estate transaction just for, just to make a quick paycheck off of that transaction, I think you're thinking about it wrong.
Yeah.
You need to think about this as a long-term business. If you're working with somebody at a $200,000 price point, you might not be making a ton of money on your commission. Well, after you split it with your brokerage and you do all this and that, but guess what? That person's a young person who has a network of people in Kansas City who they're going to refer you to. Mm-hmm. If you do a great job for them, they're going to upgrade. They have kids, they have a life event, they upgrade houses. Now they're in a $500,000 house or whatever it may be. They need more space. As long as you're like their trusted advisor and they feel like you go above and beyond and the relationships there, they're going to use you for the rest of their life. And that's really our goal. And it's not just we do a transaction with somebody and then our relationship's over with. We're keeping up with our clients after the transaction's over. It's important to us to have that network. We're doing client events, things of that nature, to always be connecting with our past clients. So it's not really just like a quick relationship. We're trying to develop a long-term relationship with our clients. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm sure you probably feel the same way.
Yeah,
about yours.
Yeah, everything's like you said. It's all relationships, right? From the business side, lender to realtor, to consumer side, professional to the actual buyer or the seller. At the end of the day, people want to work with people that they know, like, and trust.
Yeah,
and add value.
And doing things the right way, like just ethically doing things the right way, I think is just important. Kansas City's really a small place.
Yeah.
If you go,
someone said it's a small, big city.
Exactly.
It's like a small town, but in a bigger.
So you go, you just try to because there's realtors out there that'll try to just make a quick buck and do it at the expense of somebody. To me, it's just like, is that really worth that quick transaction to make a couple bucks? And now all of a sudden they're going to go out and tell everybody how terrible of a job you did and how you screwed them over.
Yeah.
I just don't. That's not a good long-term strategy because we're not thinking about it as just this transaction. We're thinking about it at the big picture, bird's eye view, long-term.
Yeah. Would you ever move back to St. Louis?
No.
Left field. No. Left field there.
I love St. Louis, but
So yeah, and I asked that because if anybody stumbles across your page or gets referred to you from out of state, why is Kansas City such a good place to move? And whether it's to raise a family or for business or whatever, you moved here from, it wasn't out of state, but still 4 hours away, 3.5 hours away. And why Kansas City? Why would someone move here?
I think there's a lot of benefits. I think somebody that wants kind of that simple, smaller town feel, but it's still a big city. Mm-hmm. Cost of living, super affordable to live here. Overall, it's a safe city. I think it's a very family-oriented city, good values. I just think it's a really good place to raise a family.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why we've anchored ourselves here because, like I said, I've got 2 kids, and I just feel like it's a really, really great place to raise a family with good values.
Yeah.
So I think that's the main thing.
Yeah. No, I would agree. And it just keeps getting better and better. So one thing, as to why the Kansas City real estate market is going to keep going up. Cost of living. there's been many studies and articles out there that one of the best places to raise a family is Lee Summit, Johnson County, like multiple other cities in Jackson County. They're all been high, good school system, but also just the construction. I mean, there's money being spent here. There's money being invested here. You drive around Kansas City, there's construction everywhere. And that's Kansas City,
they're doing the right things.
Yeah, they're doing the right things. They're our sports are good, like professionally. They're adding more things to do.
Sure. I mean, if you look at downtown Kansas City 20 years ago,
yeah,
compared to downtown Kansas City now, I mean, it's like
downtown Lee Summit where we're at right now.
It's night and day difference.
I grew up here, and there was like 2 restaurants here, and then now it's just like
it was a farm, it was a cow town, a farm town, and now, it's like, I mean, I think it's thriving.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's just keep getting bigger, and what you said, cost of living is great. I mean, you could. It's funny. I read an article in I think Kansas City Star released, and it was like our cost of living is the cheapest. Therefore, our average car loan payments are higher because everything else is cheaper. So people are driving a little nicer cars.
Yeah,
so you want to drive a nice car, own a nice house, and not pay stupid money for it. Move to Kansas City.
Yeah, it depends what's important to you, right? I mean, no, you don't have mountains. No, you don't have the ocean.
Yeah,
you're gonna have those types of things, but I do think it's a very tight knit community.
Well, you're in the middle of the United States too, so if you want to go to the mountains, any coast, right? It's gonna be you're in the center, so it's actually a great place to travel if you're traveling throughout the United States.
Yeah. But there's no other place I'd raise my kids. There's no question.
Yeah. No, I agree. We're even looking maybe should we get a second house in Florida or Colorado? But I don't think it would always have to be that second house. I don't think we could ever fully relocate to anywhere on the coast or really anywhere outside Kansas City just because it's so awesome. The people are good too, right? I've been in multiple cities throughout the United States, and I'm not dogging anybody, but I just feel like the people in Kansas City, they open the door.
A little more,
they smile.
A little bit more genuine.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, if you could, tell anybody that comes across your page, one thing, and I know this is like an interview question, straight up interviewing for a job.
Yeah.
And they're seeing it, they're looking through, your content, right? Looking through it, but they stumble across this. What would you want them to know about you and about your team?
Yeah, I think some people don't even really know what we do, honestly. This guy's got all these cool houses. We have people reach out, do you renovate houses or do you build houses? What do you do? We're a team of real estate agents here located in Lee Summit. We're in downtown Lee Summit, and our goal is to help as many buyers and sellers either sell their home or find their dream home, and create relationships. So reach out to us if you're in the market to buy or sell. We'd love to help you. If you know anybody looking to buy or sell, we'd love to help them. But like I said, we're just down to earth guys from Kansas City that just genuinely want to help people.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
That's just is what it is.
And going off of that, what's your territory? How far will you go? And
it's a good question too. So we're pretty much all over Kansas City. So we're doing business up from the airport down to Olathe, Spring Hill, out here in Jackson County. So anywhere within what I would consider the Kansas City metro, probably within an hour of the epicenter of Kansas City, we service it. So
okay.
We don't necessarily some agents specialize in one very small niche community. We're really open to working with anybody.
Johnson County,
Cass, Jackson, Clay, pretty much every county around Kansas City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good. That's awesome, man. Well, thank you so much.
Just don't tell anybody I spilled my old fashioned.
Yeah, so we get here. Oh my gosh. My heart was both enlarged and then quickly broken at the same time. So I get here. Kevin had this beautiful old fashioned that I've already consumed for me from Hand and Glove.
Hand and Glove, which is literally
next underneath you, basically.
Underneath our office, which is kind of dangerous.
Hand and Glove, amazing bar and coffee place in downtown Lee Summit, and they have actually a speakeasy above it called the W. Same ownership. Their cocktails are the best.
It's funny, downtown Lee Summit, there's so many people that aren't from around here that don't even know this exists.
Yeah.
Which actually I think makes it cool.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think the W and Hand and Glove don't really do any marketing I think just like all word of mouth.
I think it is. But it's funny, I talk to like people from other counties and stuff, they're like, you live where? Lee Summit? Like, they don't even know downtown Lee Summit exists, which I think is why it makes it, it's kind of cool that it's a hidden gem.
We're coming up, though.
Huh?
They'll eventually know about us. Yeah. So he gives it to me, and Old Fashions are my favorite cocktail. So heart, boom, and large. And then we're like testing out different spaces where we're going to record. And Kevin's got a Old Fashioned as well, and he sits down in his chair and then like goes to get up and just hits it off, and it just spills. And I'm just like, oh my god, I'm so sad for you.
Got a little too. I had a Red Bull and a coffee right before this. got a little. Let's
go. Oh man, but yeah, so spilled it everywhere, and it is what it is. But that's see me, I would have been very upset. Probably would have ruined my night. So you were just like, whatever. I grab my Busch Light here. True American.
It is what it is, man.
true Midwestern there. Awesome. Well, yeah, man. Thanks so much.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
as always,
having me, and we'll be doing more of these videos too. But yeah, if you're looking to buy, sell in the Kansas City area, the Holmes Group is definitely a team and a group that you need to reach out to. With Reese Nichols. All the contact information is in his link, and we'll put it in comments and stuff below as well, so you can reach out to him anytime. And then, of course, if you're looking to buy, sell, refi, and want to go to financing options, give me a call. We'll help you out there as well.
Yeah, and even if you're not looking to buy today or sell today, it could be 8 months out.
Yeah,
we still want to talk to you. I mean, it's always good to just get on the ball as early as possible.
Yeah,
that way we can educate you and get you in the right direction. So even if you're not looking to buy or sell today, I think a lot of people are hesitant to reach out to a real estate agent or a lender.
Yeah,
go ahead and reach out to us. We want to help you. Whether it's a year down the road or even 2 years down the road, we'd love to talk to you. So
that's a good point. I mean, I'm going to keep my add on to that and keep going here, actually, because so many of my borrowers that have came to me that thought they were ready to make an offer couldn't, and it was because there was just one thing on their credit that they didn't even know about, or they were always told that they needed X amount of down, or that they could get zero down, and then I discovered something that wouldn't allow them to do that. But there's also people that think that they need 20% down, and so they're waiting, like, I'm gonna wait a year until I have 20% down. And then I was like, well, we can actually get you with 5% down, 10% down, 0% down. I mean, there's multiple programs. So
right, just reach out to us. We're not gonna hard sell you on anything, or
it's just education.
We'll educate you and tell you, here's what you need to do in a year. Here's how we can put you in the best position. So
we'll
reach out to us.
We'll do an asset strategy. We'll do a credit strategy, and then you'll obviously do kind of a real estate strategy to help them find the perfect area for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I always say, I mean, I have multiple people that are like, I'm looking for a year or two out. I'm like, okay, let's still talk about it. We'll start with a soft pull, so it doesn't hurt your credit, but we'll get all our ducks in a row, so we know when it's time, you're perfect position to get the best deal.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, awesome.
I love it.
Cool, man. Any thoughts or anything else you want to tell the world?
I don't think so. I think I just wanted to we've built a pretty good following on especially social media, and just wanted to kind of give people a behind the scenes of who's behind the Holmes Group, and a little bit of personality, I guess. You see a lot of home tours, but you don't really know who's the guy behind the brand. Mm-hmm. So just wanted to give people a little bit of insight into that.
Yeah. A bad to the bone real estate team that will help you buy or sell throughout the greater Kansas City area, and they're going to get you way more exposure if you're looking to list and sell your home, because they have just an amazing following. And he's also got an amazing network that if you are looking to buy, he's going to have insight. He might even have off-market properties. Both Kevin and I are actually intertwined in many real estate investing groups that will sell off-market as well. So there's a lot of different values and value adds in different aspects to using URI, and it's not just a normal realtor. I mean, there's a lot more to it that can create that competitive advantage over the next realtor.
No question.
Yeah. Cool, man. Been a pleasure.
Pleasure.
Yeah.